Imbula Vinaka, I hope you are all well. We're still in meetings here in Dubai. I'm back here on the 40th floor. Let me show you a bit more of this view behind me for those that haven't seen it. Interestingly, this is all man-made. All of this stuff you see behind me. It's such a fascinating city. Anyway, just wanted to share a little bit about the meetings that we've done so far. Now, if you watched the other video, you'd know that this is a group of people from all over the world who are working in their cities and bringing about change in their cities in all different areas. And so there was a huge conference that had easily like 1,000 people, and these next few days are smaller meetings. So now they're probably 50 or less of us in these meetings, and so we're spending time just understanding what that means for our own cities. And it's great because we're learning off people from America, from South America, from Africa, and mind you, these guys have millions of people in their cities. Fiji is under 1 million, and listening to things that they have to journey with that we don't necessarily have to worry about. There's extreme cases of poverty. There's persecution in areas. There was a couple from Syria that we heard from who have been through a terrible season before COVID, where there was the ISIS situation, and then of course the earthquakes that have happened recently. And imagine trying to build cities or to progress things like education and anti-trafficking and all sorts of things when you are dealing with all of those other factors. And for us in Fiji, because we come back to the whole foundation of this, which is Christ, right? Think about this. We've got 70% of our population is indigenous. And I want to mention this because primarily as indigenous, we are Christians. I would say 99% of our indigenous population are Christians. So we're not introducing Jesus for the first time. But if we are Christians, if we are meant to be thriving, if we are meant to be bringing God's love into these spaces, how is it that we have an increasing number of sex workers, that there are more and more people becoming addicted to drugs, that the domestic violence situation is getting worse? How is that so? And what is the role of the church? And are we really doing what Jesus has asked us to do? And so this has to be, this has always been, and you know this about me, this has always been a guiding factor. This is what everything hinges on. And as followers of Christ, for those of you who are listening, it's not just a nice thing to do, it's what we are called to do, is to bring about justice in the cities that we're in, we're pointing people to Jesus. But justice is an important factor of that. And so justice is setting things right. And so also in these conversations, because we have there are a number of pastors as well, so it's understanding the theology behind pastoring to cities. We get so caught up in our churches, we get so caught up in denominations, and yet the people around us are dying, like they're dying spiritually. And so if you think about it in that way, I think it's safe to say that we as a church are failing in a lot of ways. We're called to a higher standard. And so it's so useful for me listening to the stories of many others and what they're doing, but also those who have been doing this for into 50 years now. The fathers and the grandfathers and the older women, that when we're standing on their shoulders. So today we are now we've talked at high level, a lot of about the global movement, and now just thinking about also what does that mean when we get back to Fiji. And so I have here Pastor Moses and Kathy O'Connor, and also Reverend Wilfred from the Methodist Church, which is a huge part of our culture, right? The Methodist religion. So I will continue updating you. I have not had a chance to go out and do any more sightseeing because it's Saturday and Sunday. We're doing meetings all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Today is Monday. It's all day today, and then tomorrow Tuesday up until lunchtime, and then I leave for Singapore. But I'll keep on sharing with you how we're going, and feel free to let me know any comments you have. But this is exciting. This is exciting. We can't keep on doing the same old thing we've been doing in Fiji. It's time that we are, doing what God has called us to do. And not only that, but partnering with those in the marketplace, with the government, and progressing, and helping people thrive, creating environments so people can thrive and operate in their callings and their giftings. Yes, so that's an update on what's happening so far. Thank you again for following. Keep in touch, and I will update you all again very, very soon. Binakabakaleo.